Well, the most important thing, apart from all the policy changes and the legal changes, is a big change in culture. We need to say loudly and clearly, abuse of children under the age of 16 is wrong. It's not consent, it's not normal relations, it's wrong, and it has to be, we have to be intolerant of it and not walk on by, as happened in too many cases in the past.
Experts have been warning about the scale of child abuse for decades, and you're only doing something now at the very end of your parliament. Have you and other politicians not been willfully ignoring this desperate issue?
No, we have taken action because we put in place tougher sentences. We've put in help for the victims. We've taken all sorts of steps. But what's come out of Rotherham and Rochdale and Oxford has been so horrific that it has demonstrated that more needs to be done. Now, obviously, it's the responsibility of these councils and those police forces and those social services departments, but government needs to bring everyone together and make sure the lessons are being learned and any legal changes that are necessary are passed. So out of today comes help for whistleblowers, help for victims, changes to the law to make sure that willful neglect is made a proper offence.
But this is 5 years on. There was nothing in your manifesto or the coalition agreement that even mentioned child sexual exploitation. It shouldn't have come as a surprise to you.
Well, I don't accept that we haven't done a lot about it. We have. We have put in place better police training. We've put in place longer sentences, more help for victims, a whole set of things. But these events at Rotherham and in Oxford have happened after the last manifesto was written. They've happened during this Parliament. And what I'm determined as Prime Minister is that we end the walk-on-by culture that too many police forces and social work departments have demonstrated.
How will threatening social workers with jail encourage good quality people to give their lives to this profession?
Well, we're doing great work to encourage good people into social work in the first place. So we're having an equivalent of teach first into social work. But at the end of the day, if professionals fail, there need to be consequences. One of the problems in Rotherham is that there was failure after failure by social workers, by councillors, by council officials, and yes, by the police, and not enough consequences flowed from that. So it's very important the consequences do flow. But in the end, as I've said, all the legal changes we make, all the policy changes we make, all the different practices we put in place, none of that is a substitute for a healthy dose of common sense, rolling up your sleeves, getting stuck in and putting an end to this abuse.
Finally, on Oxford, no one's been held to account despite systemic problems found by the case review. What's your opinion on that?
Well, we need to look carefully at the report out today, but it's not true no one's been held to account. There was a court case and some of the perpetrators were sentenced, and that's the most important sort of accountability of all. What needs to happen now is the lessons need to be learned. There's some evidence that in Oxford that has happened, but I'm sure there's more work to do.